Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Do you hear that quiet descending over the Galilee? Chaim Mailspin here, the Galilean Sea of Galilee behind me. Wow, what history we have here, huh? Amazing. Not only did Ben-Gurion restart this country, fulfilling the prophecies by planting the first trees, the first agriculture right here, around the Sea of Galilee. Also, this is where the first kibbutz, the first gathering point was, around the Sea of Galilee. Absolutely. Also, you have the first of the army come together, the first schools, the first agriculture, as I've said. The Galilee is where it all began for Yeshua, the rabbi, the greatest Galilean ever. He began here with a few, and they went out and changed the world. It's happening again, round two. And I just love the shalom of the Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Am I right? Who here loves Shabbat? You love going and blessing your wife with the Proverbs 31, starting with verse 10. Virtuous woman, Eshet Chayil. Some of you sing that over your wife. Some of you read that. And it's just wonderful, blessing the kids. Shalom to everybody joining from around the world. You love blessing your kids with the firstborn blessing, the double portion. Right? Enjoying that challah, that wine, blessing your daughters, right? What a blessing. I just wanted to say, at the place where it all began 2,000 years ago, and then yet again, just 73 years ago, we have Israel's rebirth starting here. And hey, I didn't get to see all of you in my last trip, but before I say anything, send a video of yourself blowing a shofar. Make it short. Send a video of yourself blowing a shofar. Feast of Trumpets coming up. It's called Yom Teruah. And I need that video from each and every one of you in a good lighting, good sound. Just, we have something we're doing. We're bringing a sound from around the world. We're bringing that together. We've done this before in previous years. Now we want to ask you again, get a video of yourself blowing a shofar. It's going to be a declaration for this upcoming Yom Teruah, Feast of Trumpets. It's going to be, I know many of you can't come here physically. What you can do is you can send a video of yourself blowing a shofar. Send it to my email, Chaim at aliyahreturncenter.com. That's Chaim, Chaim, at aliyahreturncenter.com. You're going to be part of a great sound going throughout the world. And I'm talking the north. I'm talking Europe. I'm talking all the way up north. I'm talking to the south, all through Africa, different countries. Okay, our gathering, I don't know if you've already sent your video in. That's Chaim at aliyahreturncenter.com, spelled the way we spell it. All through African countries, like Uganda, they're going to be sending in a video of you blowing a shofar, a ram's horn, a trumpet. It can be a kazoo for all I care. Just send it in, okay? Send it in. We've got all the way through in the Asia, sending in these videos all the way in the Americas. That's North America, that's South America, that is the United States of America as well. Send it in, all right? Now, Shabbat is just descending. The birds are getting in their nests. The families are washing up, showering up, getting their white shirts on and gathering the family for Shabbat, okay? I just flew throughout the United States of America and Canada, and I was widely received, royally received, and it was such a blessing to be able to share. And I wish I had more time. It was a very short trip, and I had to rush back here. So much going on at the Aliyah Return Center, as you know, with the food, clothing, shelter expansions on every level, and now an Olpan, a Hebrew school. Wow, it's hard to sometimes even keep up with all that God is doing right here where it all began. It's moving and it's shaking and changing lives, impacting lives as the hands and feet of the Matthew 25 Galilean. Yes? Food, clothing, shelter. When have we given you some clothing when you needed it, some food when you needed it, a place to stay when you needed it, when those family members of the Master have made their immigration? When do we do that? Well, insomuch as you did it to the least of these, my brothers, you've done it unto me. There is some sheep nations coming together to bless, even when they can't physically be here. They're coming together and saying, we understand it's a trying time. We understand travel is hard now. We get it. But we're going to sow in. we're going to sow into the amazing work that's being done here. So that's exciting. So I traveled throughout the U.S. I bore testimony of what is going on here, the adventure, some of the action. I got to answer questions, and I really wish I had more time. I may have to plan another trip because I have American citizenship and Israeli citizenship, so I have no problem traveling there. I know some of you have trouble traveling here. So I'm willing to go maybe in November. I have to see how this all can work out, but potentially another trip, maybe not with the whole family, maybe just myself this time, and fly in November to the United States. We need to encourage each other. The remnant needs to rally and stand together. He who gathers not with me scatters. Do we not see a scattering happening in the world? Do we not see a scattering? We do, but that's not the end of the story. Okay, the end of the story is the righteous remnant arises and shines and shines forth like the stars in the heavens, and the righteous win. Okay, the righteous win the war, and I'm excited to say the righteous are rallying together. By the way, share this video right now because I want people. Could you share this video right now? I need people to be able to send that video. If they're part of the righteous remnant, they need to bring forth that sound. And of course, there are 4 blasts, and each one is going to mean something big in the up. It's just 2 weeks away. A little over 2 weeks away is the Feast of Trumpets, okay? We got to get this happening because I know that you can't join us physically right now, but we have a sound we can bring forth. Just like how the blessing went around the world, this shofar sound is going to go around the world right now. The sound of a shofar. I've heard testimony of people getting cured from cancer. Yes, same could be true for COVID. I've heard of people at the sound of a shofar, at the rallying sound. I've heard of cancer being blasted off people, okay? It is a sound. It's a rallying sound on 4 levels. You have first the tkiyah, okay? Tkiyah is that loud blast, okay? If you can do all 4 blasts, that is ideal. If you can't, if you just do 1 blast, if you don't have a shofar, you don't have a trumpet, I understand. But we need these blasts to be sent. We need to make a united sound, and that's what we're going to do right here from the Galilee where it all began, okay? So first one, of course, is that you all know, it's that tkiyah, you know? And then you have the Tru'ah. Okay, the tkiyah, of course, that's like a coronation. We're going to be talking all about this. And you got the sound of the Lord in the camps of the righteous, okay? Then you got the Tru'ah, Yom Tru'ah. Okay, that's more like an old ambulance, like doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? You guys know this already, but I'm just reminding you because we're going to be talking about this a lot. And this video has to be short, okay? Very short. And, okay, then of course you have the shvarim. It's like an alarm. It's a rally of the troops. It is a call forth. I'm going to not go into it all right now. But then you have Tru'ah Gdolah, the ever-increasing, ever-expanding sound like you had on Mount Sinai, right? Like you had when God gathered. He who gathers not with me scatters. There's a gathering. And there's a gathering to Mount Sinai, kingdom of priests, purification, the great redemption. When I went throughout the U.S. and Canada, I spoke of redemption and how we're in a redemption story. It's not always easy, okay? Go ahead and share this if you know someone who needs to know that we're in a redemption story. We are in a process in every nation where that critical mass of the righteous will make your nation a sheep nation. Those who stand with Israel, those who stand with what God's doing, those who stand for righteousness, okay, who understand the times we live in, who are not driven by fear, but driven by hope, driven by the prophetic word. And too much fear, too much crazy in this world. We need to bring back some of this strength of the kingdom together. Do you agree? I know. So go ahead and share this message. We need, again, if you just joined, I'm going to say it again. We need you to send in a video to Chaim at aliyahreturncenter.com. That's Chaim, C-H-A-I-M, at aliyahreturncenter.com. Send in a video of yourself blowing a shofar. We're going to have a united sound in just over 2 weeks for the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah. Have any of you watched The Chosen? Okay, that is a video series. It has some artistic license. I thought it was very, very well done. I thought it was nice. We're the real Galileans. We're the actual disciples back here. Okay, that was a video. I'm talking about an actual move of God. We are actually right now part of a great plan unfolding, which has to do with sheep nations who hear the voice of the shepherd, okay? Part of that voice, I believe, is a shofar sound on the Feast of Trumpets. Now, some call it Rosh Hashanah. I'll talk about it. It's not Akitu. It's not that. That's a Babylonian New Year. It's not about Marduk. It's about the God of Israel, okay? God of Israel. We'll talk about that. Just get that video sent if you can today. We have to have some time to prepare because it's also not United Nations. This is Nations United for Israel. Afghanistan. Let me tell you what, we have friends for 7 years who have been working there. 7 years on the ground in Afghanistan, in Kabul, okay? And what's going on right now is heart-wrenching. You guys have seen the pictures. We happen to have an insider's perspective on the ground. And I'm telling you, though, it's just the same message. It is, who will be sheep nations and what nations will fall away? That could be any nation in the world. It could be any nation. We're seeing Malaysia. There's a turning point in Malaysia. We're seeing in Taiwan, there's these turning points where nations will say, look, we either care or don't care about the redemption plan of the Galilean rabbi. And we want to be part of standing with Israel, or we want to stand against. You all know Afghanistan was where the 9/11 attacks were launched from on United States soil. You know this. That is where it came from, Afghanistan. Once again, we're seeing a turning point. We're almost at 9/11. We're at this time of where nations need this word. We need these words. We need these righteous to arise. We don't need just another Netflix movie right now. We need to act. First part of acting is simple. Record yourself blasting a shofar. If you can do all 4 blasts, the tkiyah, the Tuah, the Shvarim, and the Tkiyah Gdolah. If you can do all 4 of those and send them in real fast, that would be awesome. You can then be part of, a small part of this call going around the world, okay? Afghanistan, I can't share too much about it right now. Also, identities have to be protected. We don't know where they could be reached. Our people who are working there for many, many years in Kabul. Okay, and we need, it's really, you know, I don't know what you've seen on the news. It's really not good right now. We need, though, to have joy in the trial because it's all part of a redemption story. It's a redemption story that we have a part in, and God has a part in, but he wants to use us. That's why he purchased Galatians, purchased realty, you know, realty right in the front, in the waterfront property called our heart, with which to do redemptive actions through. So as I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, thank you for your prayer, not only for what God's doing in the restoration journey in Israel, this redemption journey, restoring the people to the land, restoring the vines, restoring the vineyards, restoring the houses, building the waste places, not only what God's doing in Israel, but the work he wants to do in every nation as the fullness of the nations comes around. The fullness of the nations is going to come around soon. You guys know that it says that Jerusalem will be trampled by nations until the fullness of the Gentiles. Hey, it's already been 1967. If we're talking one generation, that generation will not pass until these words are until all these things are fulfilled. Well, we got 49 years. We don't have much time. I mean, this is just a rough estimate, but we don't have much time until the fullness of this generation, unless we're talking about the Temple Mount. Okay? Now, the Temple Mount still is being trampled by nations. We have a short time to act together, and it's going to be beautiful. The entire cloud of witnesses is cheering us on and just waiting for us to fulfill that Hebrews 11, verse 39 relay race. It is time for those of faith to arise. I bid you a Shabbat Shalom from our family at the Sea of Galilee, from our team at the Aliyah Return Center. They all send their love. They send their blessings. They send their peace to you. And I haven't been called up to serve just yet. I keep on thinking I'm going to be. I mean, they call and say, be ready. It didn't happen yet. But hey, You got to keep Israel, because Israel's another country that has people that are wanting to overrun it. Muslims that are nearby, it's very real, that want to overrun, from Iran, from Hezbollah, from Hamas, from so on and so forth. It's all part of a spirit which is counter to what God has declared He wants. And He wants a shalom, a Shabbat Shalom. And every day to be Shalom Day, okay? Let's believe for the best that God has for us. Let's not lose hope. Let's not lose faith. But let's keep provoking each other to jealousy and understanding that Israel has had a part in the story, does have a part in the story, and will have a part in the story. No avoiding that. This is where it all culminates, the culmination of history. The